Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube discussion. Today, I am joined by Ginger Greek, and today we are going to be talking. We're going to start off by talking about Hogwarts Legacy because we have both recently played the game, and there's been some rumors coming out that about the sequel and everything. But really, we just kind of want to talk about the artist versus the art argument with people. So, Ginger Greek, how you doing?
Very good, sir. Yourself?
Hanging in there. So the reason why I want to do this video is just because me and you were talking on the background, and we wanted to talk about well, at least I wanted to talk about in particular Hogwarts Legacy and the problem that I'm going to see with Hogwarts Legacy 2. I love this game. This game is amazing. Ginger Grease giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm probably going to give it a 10 out of 10 as well. Amazing game. And my issue is though is that I feel like that when they do a sequel for this game, that the first game was successful because you had all the right wingers who were trying to support JK, who is a garbage human being, and you have all the lefties who wanted to buy the game and burn it because they hated JK, and then you got just people that wanted a good game. And so you had all these people buying the game. It was extremely successful, and honestly it deserved that success, but not for the reasons it was successful. The sales were successful, like. So my fear is now is that when we get Hogwarts Legacy 2, a lot of those people are going to just basically abandon the game just because the rights have attention spans of a toddler, and the lefties are going to be like, well, we're just I'm just not going to play it, and the gamers are going to buy it because they like good games and the first game was really good. My problem with that is that if we don't support this game, at least the left, if we don't support this game, because there's good representation in Hogwarts Legacy. And that's the kind of that we need to show corporations that this is the kind of representation we want. We don't want the right to have ammunition saying if Hogwarts Legacy 2 sales just suck, they're like, see, the representation, oh, that nobody wants that because sales are so bad. And honestly, Hogwarts Legacy did an awesome job representing it, for the LGBTQ community in that game. That it wasn't beating people over your head with it. It was just good representation. So anyway, Ginger Greek, I'm going to turn it over to you for a moment. Go ahead and
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like we've talked about here, like art versus the artist, and it's funny you and I are covering Hogwarts Legacy because it's had a bit of resurgence on Twitch. There's a few people have kind of gotten around now to playing it, especially some of the people that I watch and follow, and me, you and I both just got into the game now. I was just like, look, I've got nothing else to play. Might as well put it on now. And I got it with my PlayStation. It came part of a package deal and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 game. It's an amazing game. But I spoke about it when the game kind of first came out that the left were approaching this, were targeting the wrong people, and because a lot of there was a lot of abuse held at developers as well, and there was a big furor, and every time there's this kind of thing, you know how the right are going to respond, you know how reactionary they are. It just gave them ammunition to go out and buy the game in droves, and many people bought multiple copies as a giant FU. And as a result, the game was successful. But that's not why the game was successful, because you and I, we talk about it. I'm very, involved in the kind of political aspect of everything and all this kind of stuff. That's why we have the podcast, shameless plug. But it's, I knew how this was going to play out, but the general uh, average Joe and Jane don't know what's going on, don't care. They just see, ooh, good game. Ooh, I like Harry Potter. I'm going to get it. And thankfully, the game not only was a success, but it's an amazing game. It really is an amazing game. The fear is with the sequel is that that enthusiasm or that anger or that attention would have died off as the right kind of move on to something else. And the left are gonna kick up a fuss, but no one's gonna care because everyone has the attention span of an ant, or no one's even gonna pay the game any slight attention because of what happened last time. And it just kind of does okay, not as good as the first one, and that just sets a bad precedent for a franchise moving forward. especially given as it's not a live service, it's a single player, story driven game
Mhm.
with a beginning and an end, and it's chock full of so much stuff that it just reminds me of the just good old RPGs. And games like this need to be celebrated just for the game itself. I do understand people want to boycott it because of J.K. Rowling. That's absolutely fine. But you shouldn't be bullying and browbeating other people that buy it, because that also happened. There was a lot of abuse held at people that just generally don't care and just want to play a good game. And so the whole thing was a mess around it. And I berated my own side on the left because their bad strategy just backfired on them spectacularly. I said, just focus your hate on J.K. Rowling and just let the game go like a fart in the wind. But of course, they couldn't do that because they have to get involved and they have to white knight and all this kind of stuff. And despite the creators saying, she had no input in this. This is all about us. Yes, I know she gets a cut from the sales and all that, but she's going to get a cut regardless. That Harry Potter's not going away. It's a very beloved franchise. I love it because it's very British, and it's just a kind of, a nice kind of break from the constant Americana we have to put up with. And a lot of Americans appreciate it as well because they're just as tired of seeing the constant same shit over and over again. And it's just a wonderful little world that's been created by a shitty person, but we don't want to see that world go. It's the same like with uh, the WWE, for example. The person that created it, I've never liked Vince McMahon. I've always hated him. I knew he was a wrong 'un since day one. But we did enjoy the product. We loved it. It had its peaks, it had its drops, but people still loved it. They still watched it regardless. And to this day, even Vince, even after it's been sold, no one's boycotting it just because it's something he created.
Mhm.
Okay. So the point is, you're going to love something, you're going to love something. Just don't browbeat other people for doing the same. And yeah, that's it. I just hope the sequel just kicks ass, basically,
Yeah. I
in
mean,
terms
it's a
of.
good game, with the rumor of, possibly the game going abroad, and, going some from, going we had talked prior to this about possibly it going either to the Far East or maybe to like North Africa or Saudi Arabia, even Italy. These are established places in the canon. Even not that I want to go to Russia, but even Russia has a wizarding school, like.
Russia would be. I wouldn't mind Russia.
So I just don't know enough about the Russian portion of it, but like, but that's what
Yeah,
we're saying is like we have to support the representation, that we are getting here. And I get it, J.K. Rowling is like a garbage human being, but that we have to show that the corporations that this is the and to your even aside from the representation, which is very important. Also, it's a good game, beginning and end. It's not live service. The shit show that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Like, this is how we have to show them that we want good games. We want games that are going to be immersive and massive and good, well written, with time taken to make them, not all this other, other bullshit that we've been getting over the past couple years. This is definitely a diamond in the rough of some of the stuff we've been getting recently, especially from like, the WB side of things. So I mean, I don't know. I just think that I know nobody wants to funnel money to J.K. Rowling, but at the same time, it's like, you're either going to destroy Harry Potter, you're either gonna, it's gonna be scorched earth with Harry Potter, and you're gonna lose it because they're gonna think, well, nobody wants Harry Potter, so we're going, or we can just move on from J.K. and just ignore her and let her just shrivel up and die. It's almost like Dumbledore said in the movies. He, like when he looked over at Voldemort in the corner, and Harry's like, who's that, or what's going on there? And he's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Bringing it around to Harry Potter.
Nice kind of work in there. But yeah, no, again, like I completely agree in that. Uh, it's a world that's out there. There are a lot of properties out there that people love, and it's a shame that you know. I wouldn't go out and actively buy another Harry Potter book if it was written by J.K. Rowling and all this kind of stuff. But I will take the spin-offs that she has nothing to do with, and the game is one of those. And it look, in my own self-centered, cynical way, it's just a good game that's worth being bought. Now, a lot of you same people that were abusing others for buying this game, and I remember the abuse you guys sent to people. All right, you're the same people playing League of Legends, and you'll very much know about Riot Games and all the kind of crap that they pulled off, the kind of culture of frat boys and farting in people's faces and sexually harassing and abusing women in the office and all this kind of stuff. But you're still playing their games. You play a lot of Activision games and Ubisoft games,
Mm-hmm.
despite the culture that they fostered there as well. You're playing your GTA's, and we know what an abusive environment Rockstar Games was with one of their old managers and all this kind of stuff. So no matter what you consume, it's very difficult to be an ethical consumer. It is. I mean, it's practically impossible because of the monopolies and all this kind of stuff. So I just say, look, channel your anger at the individual that's causing the hubbub, but you can still enjoy that thing that they created. It's already there. It's already established. You don't have to consume further items from it if you don't want to, but it's just a shame to kind of deprive yourself of something. And again, I know this is a very kind of selfish thing, but fuck it, the world's a mess anyway. So, well, it's very stupid to deprive yourself of something just because of this, that, and the other. And you know, these people that obviously were devastated with what J.K. Rowling turned out to be. A lot of them still love Harry Potter, but they don't want anything to do with it, and I can totally understand that. But when a company goes out of their way to distance themselves from the creator and also to be inclusive in spite of the creator, it warrants the merit of plaudits, because it's to say, yeah, look, we know what J.K. Rowling is, and these game developers saying, you know what, we love the world you created, but fuck you,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to
They
take
made
it
that
and
very
make it
clear.
our own. Yeah, they made that very clear. They were very, very clear about it. And it is a franchise that is beloved, and there's a lot of money to be made. I mean, they're making a series of Harry Potter, and each season's gonna follow the book, so it's going to be much more in depth than the films could ever be. It's going to be much closer to the books, and I again am very much looking forward to it because I love that world, and I know that there's going to be chaos when it comes out, and the actors that are playing in it are going to get abused and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, look, the world exists. Just enjoy it for what it is. If you don't like it, just walk away and go hurl a bunch of abuse at J.K. Rowling on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter if you want to. That's perfectly valid, and I'll be there right behind you doing that. But if something happens tomorrow and she passes away, you know, hopefully, but if something happens tomorrow and she passes away, that property's still going to exist, and they're still going to be making stuff, and it'll be a lot easier to kind of enjoy it without the kind of hubbub around it. But like we said before, there are musicians out there that have created masterpieces. Like, how many Phil Spector songs have you heard from like the Beatles and the Stones and all this kind of stuff? And he murdered his wife. He shot his wife. He was an abusive, controlling human being. But you're still going to listen to those songs. Michael Jackson, Led Zeppelin, P. Diddy, though I don't know why you want to hear a P. Diddy song, to be perfectly honest. And, Gary Glitter has created one of my favorite songs, which is the Rock and Roll Part 2 song. I'll still listen to that song, but Gary Glitter's a piece of shit. And that's why I say, you just, no matter how ethical you try to be, the minute you pick up a drink to drink it, that drink is from a conglomerate that is murdering unions around the world. So you can't, unless you just turn on your own tap and drink your water, there's no like ethical way of consuming things. And so just let things be and just hurl your abuse at the person being the piece of shit. It's as simple as that. It's like WWE. WWE, we were all clamoring for the day where Vince would finally go off, retire, sell it off, and all this kind of stuff. And he
Honestly,
has.
we thought he'd die.
Yeah,
Like,
we thought he'd die with the product.
yeah.
But and we knew he was a piece of shit, but it turns out, holy crap, what a piece of shit he was. Now, even after the speaking out movement that happened in one of the summers, where a lot of female wrestlers had suffered a lot of abuse and all this kind of stuff, people still watch wrestling. It's just as popular now as ever. So it's there's always a minefield that you're gonna walk. And so my argument has always been, don't worry too much about what your side thinks. Just enjoy what you're gonna enjoy. And if you want to hurl abuse at the artist, do it. Like, I hate James Woods, he's a piece of shit, but he's one of my favorite actors of all time, and I love his films. So, you know, that's all I have to say really
Okay.
on that. Yeah, on consumption.
Gotcha. All right. Well, everybody down below, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Are we right? Are we wrong? Regardless, yell at us, scream at us. We will laugh at you. Yeah, so please like, share, and subscribe to NerdTube, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.
Just before we go, let me know down below what you have chosen to boycott, and I will put down in the comments as well kind of the products that I've boycotted. And I'm not an ethical, I try to be where I can, but I'm not perfect. But just out of curiosity, if you are actively boycotting, and I'm talking about people that have specifically been very vocal against this game, I would like to know below some of the things that you've chosen to boycott, just purely out of curiosity on my end. And on that note, we'll leave you at that. Cheeto, thank you for having me on. I can sign us out from now because I kind of interrupted you. But
Yeah.
like, share, subscribe, get the message out there. And please, any trolls and any abuse, just let it all out in the comment section. I get off on it. And on that note, let normality resume. Bye bye.